Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rewatch Talk Live. This evening, we will be going over Violent Night. Moviegoers were shocked on December 2nd, 2022, when snow of white flakes mixed with blood fell upon their heads. The movie that caused such a stir was Violent Night. The budget for this movie was $20 million and grossed $76 million at the box office. This movie starred David Harbour, John Leguizamo, Alex Russell, Alexis Louder, and Beverly D'Angelo. And this was an excellent film, I believe. I thought it was a fun flick for Christmas. This family flick, I believe, was very festive. And in Greenwich, Connecticut, Jason Lightstone and his estranged wife Linda take their daughter Trudy to his mother Gertrude's mansion for a Christmas gathering. They overhear Trudy's Christmas wish for family unity, though an old walkie-talkie. Yes, there we go. Other family members at the gathering are Jason's sister Alva, her boyfriend Morgan Steele, and her son Bert. Meanwhile, Santa Claus arrives at the estate just as a group of mercenaries led by Mr. Scrooge raid the house, with some of them having posed as caterers, and take the family hostage after killing the staff. Well, we also have to be sure that this movie did start with Santa at the bar in Bristol, England. And this is weird. He's there, he's drinking, he's complaining about Christmas. Nobody wants any presents. They all want video games. He's whining. And everyone there at the bar just thinks he's a Santa Claus, a mall Santa Claus. I don't know if those Santas even exist anymore. A mall Santa. But you get the gist. So he takes off. He goes to the roof. The bartender chases him on the roof. And then she looks up and sees Santa just in time. And then, just in time to get barfed on by Santa, because old Santa had to barf up all of that whiskey he was drinking. So she gets a face full of, of barf. So that's how it goes. So, it's interesting. And it's a very interesting movie. And, Santa's, there's some gunfire. Let's go back to the mansion. Santa's there. He's delivering the presents. And we discover that Santa has a bag of holding. That's how he can have all of those presents, is that he has a bag of holding, which holds more than I believe than the D&D version of the bag of holding. And there's some gunfire, which the reindeer take off. And so now Santa's stranded in the mansion. And because, Santa confronts one of the bad guys. They all have code names. This code name is Tinsel, and Santa kills him by causing him to be impaled by an icicle. And now that he's stranded, he decides to rescue Trudy and her family from Scrooge, who wants $300 million cash hidden in a vault in the mansion. Now, after killing the mercenary, Frosty, Santa takes his radio and finds Trudy's channel. He then finds that the mercenaries are on his naughty list. Well, to be honest, there are really no heroes in this story except for Trudy and her mother. The rest are greedy. The rest are. Well, we're going to find out that the $300 million was earmarked for different purposes. And so the mother, Gertrude, wasn't supposed to have this money in the first place. but it's hidden there. And, so he then finds that the mercenaries are on his naughty list, as I said. And then when Scrooge discovers that Trudy has been talking with Santa on her walkie-talkie, her father, Jason, denies Santa's existence. And a distraught Trudy runs past the kidnappers and successfully hides in the attic. Santa rescues her over the reassures her over the radio, revealing to her that his ancient Viking warrior past. Now this is it. So Santa was a Viking warrior before he became Saint Nick, and he had a nice little hammer that he called Skull Crusher. And he was a Viking that used to rape and pillage villages throughout Europe. And so, how does this man end up being Santa Claus? That's not really. But he's been there he's been for thousands of years. He's been Santa Claus along with his wife, Mrs. Claus, who he misses. And then Santa gets wounded and he gets captured by Scrooge, who hates Christmas, which is played, and recognizing their real identity, Santa convinces henchman Gingerbread and Candy Cane of his authenticity. Well, I don't know about that. And escapes magically. Well, yeah, he does. He does know he has magic, but he doesn't know how it works. And it's not a lot of magic, but it's enough to get him up the chimneys by tapping his nose and becomes like a dust cloud with sparklies and stuff like that. So he does have some magic, but not a lot. But I guess enough to get by. Plus, I said the bag of holding that he has, where he keeps all the presents. And, so he's stuck at this mansion. He's still, and and we find out that, Gertrude, not only, she claims that this mansion has the best security in America, which is weird because there's not that much security around. There's like one guard at the door and a few maybe on the outskirts of the place. So I don't know how that's the most secure place in America, but still, she does have a kill squad, or that's led by Commander Thorpe, and he's on his way. Yeah, so, but Scrooge knows all this. He's been planning this caper for years, over a year. He knows what's going to happen. He knows where the money is. He knows how much money there is. He knows about the kill squad. So there's nothing that's going to. Only thing that's caught him by surprise so far is this Santa, which he thinks is like a fake Santa. Like, who hired the Santa? And, Gertrude saying, there's no Santa here. That's kind of tacky. So, Santa is, I guess, like we all know, he's stuck there. Well, I don't know if you see it, but he's stuck there. He's helping Trudy. He's helping because Trudy still believes that there's the Santa Claus, even though her father says there's no such thing as father. Yeah, Santa Claus, because she keeps saying she's talking to Santa on the walkie-talkie, and they're trying to convince Scrooge that she's making this up because she still believes, but it doesn't matter. And so Morgan Steele, that I've talked about, he breaks through the window and escapes. And he's not really there. And he runs into Thorpe and there's a kill squad, and of course they kill him because we're going to find out that he's really on the same. He's there helping Scrooge because he wants part of that payday. And then we find out that the vault's empty. Scrooge threatens Linda. Jason admits he stole the money because he wants to leave. He has already talked to his estranged wife, or his wife, saying he wants to leave the family, start anew, and not be part of this crazy family anymore. And that's why he has stolen the money, so he could be back with they can be a family again. And We don't know, so Gertrude, you have to don't know for Gertrude who opens it because, well, there is a mercenary called Krampus, and he's a crazy mofo. I mean, yeah, he is not all there. So he wants them to open their gifts because he thinks it'll be fun. So, and eventually we get to uh, Jason has his mother opens the gift and says, "Don't read that note." Nah, let's wait. Well, she reads the note, and we don't know what the note exactly says. We find out the note probably says, "See you later. I've got the cash," and that is, you know. So Santa is, and eventually the family gets had a hold of some weapons. Santa's running around the mansion killing people left and right. I mean, let's be honest. This is not a horror film. This is just an action film. You get to put Santa. Santa's an action hero here. Well, in a way, he's an action hero, I guess. But he's the hero. He's going back to his Viking heritage and kicking some butt. Why? The reason Santa's still there is because at first when he first gets there, he's making himself at home. He's drinking their expensive wine and taking it easy on the vibrating recliner. He should have been gone, but he just hung. I don't know why he hung around. What he did. He hung around too long, and this is what happens. And you got to understand, when Trudy escapes, and I mean, this movie, it's part Die Hard, part Home Alone. You've got all these things going on. This movie, you can see all that stuff happening in this movie where it's all based on, and it's cool. That's what makes it an interesting movie, and so Santa makes his way outside there, and he's been shot he's been wounded, and he's given himself stitches, you know, but he's not in, so he's kind of injured. He's running around, and he finds he finds a sledgehammer. Well, of course, in the shed, which he knows how to use quite expertly. So he starts bashing in heads, and Mr. Scrooge, it keeps he doesn't believe in Santa. He keeps, he's getting fed up with Santa. And, and just when we thought, Scrooge is, so they're at a chimney there and it's like a chimney. It is a chimney. And Santa just does his magical thing and drags Mr. Scrooge up with him through the chimney. So there he has it. He's in the chimney. He goes through the chimney. So, of course, what comes out is ground up meat. But then poor old Santa, he's been hit. And he takes his hammer, of course. He also eliminates the kill squad with the help of Trudy and her father. Not Trudy, the father. Well, Trudy's out there too, but Trudy and the wife, because the wife knows how to use a weapon somewhat, so she has the machine gun, and so all the hostages except for Morgan are basically saved. It's an interesting thing. They fight in the cabin, and Thorpe shoots Santa, but and then Thorpe is killed by Gertrude because Gertrude just walks up and shoots him in the head. And they see that Santa's getting cold, and so there's some fire from the explosions on the outside, and Jason somehow decides to use some of the money to keep the fires going to keep Santa warm. And doesn't matter. Santa finally dies of the gunshot wounds. And then, of course, in the heartbreaking, tear-jerking, hallmark moment of the film, they all start saying how much they believe in Santa. And, of course, this brings Santa back to life. and because they finally believe that he is Santa Claus. And because, Santa doesn't know anything, he's still confused by the magic. So he thinks, well, the magic brought me back. So what? Then at the end there, the reindeer come back. And he starts cussing at him, yelling at him again for being so late. But they went back and got his original skull crusher and another bag of holding. And Mrs. Claus, left him a note. And so, it's a real fun movie, beginning to end. And, it's not bad. It's not really for young children because a lot of violence, a lot of blood, a lot of gore for this. So, it's a good fun movie. And, I didn't get around to watching it last year, but this year I did. And, it'll probably become one of those, for me, a yearly, Christmas time movies that I'll watch when you're want to have a really fun time. So, and the thing is, one of the things that I mentioned before, that Santa in the bar and on the roof, and Santa's up, and you see Santa in the sled, and you see the skyline, and even though they're in Bristol, the skyline is that of London. So don't know why that is, but that's one of those interesting things. I don't know if it's on purpose or a goof that no one knew the skyline between Bristol and London. I don't know. So I mean, it can be fun for the family. So I thought so, and it's a fun movie, and there's all kinds of things that go on in this movie, and I'm not, and I assume if you're going to watch it, it's been out over a year now, so if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it, and so, and especially in this day and age, after 3 days, spoiler warnings are done with anymore. So waiting a year to tell anybody about this movie is way past the deadline. But uh, so Mr. Scrooge is, he's the one that is in charge of everything, and he is, it's a good movie. And I didn't know it was on. I didn't know it was on at theaters at first. I just thought it was showed up on Prime, and that was the way it is. But Mr. Scrooge, he's played by John Leguizamo, and he's a character actor that you've seen almost everywhere. You got to remember Beverly D'Angelo, who plays Gertrude, was the wife on the Christmas Vacation movies. So that name should be familiar to people that have spent Christmas with the Griswolds. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be a 2. I hope not. I don't know what you would do for a second one. Some movies aren't meant to have sequels, but it's nothing to make a ton of money. I'm not even sure if 96 million is enough to cover enough to get it done. So I don't know about that. But John Harbour, as you know from Stranger Things, he plays an excellent Santa. Gruff and grumpy because nobody cares about Christmas anymore. They all want, well, for some reason, they all want video games, I guess. But that's not everything that people want. I mean, they also want cell phones and all that kind of crap. But I guess the elves are tired of making nothing but video games. But like I said, I thought the bag of holding was neat. So that's about it for this movie. I hope that everyone, it's still Christmas Eve. You can still catch it if you haven't seen it yet. Everybody can have a good time watching it. So I have a question. Where was I this morning? That was for another show. And where was I this morning? As I fell asleep, so I missed starting the show. So I hope that answers a question out there. I don't know. I slipped off. I was up, but then I was, I just fell asleep. And then before I knew it, it was way past the time. So sorry about that. Mm. So, it's, oh my, it's, it's Christmas Eve. And why not? I mean, make yourself some eggnog, roast some popcorn on an open flame, sit down and watch this movie. You have time. I know it's busy. People have Christmas plans both days, all week, up until the new year. So, like I said, if you get a chance, watch this. It's a fun movie. I mean, yeah, it's not for young kids because there is language, there is violence, lots of blood and gore. Trudy has her moment up in the attic doing Home Alone stuff, making traps. Poor old Candy Cane gets run over by some bowling balls and has a bowling ball run over her, hit her in the crotch. So that probably didn't feel good. So there are some Home Alone moments that Trudy does because, I mean, she's seen the movie anyway. I mean, we find out at the very beginning that she did watch that movie. So, and she loved it. She liked it, because, he makes a quote while, I don't know why the ex-wife tagged along to the party, but she did. But no explanation is needed. As far as we know, they did get together then after all these shenanigans. Maybe they did get together, but back together. So maybe, but it was a fun flick. So I thought it was fun. I'm rambling on here, but I'm trying to catch up on some of these comments from Arc 54. Arc 54, where are you? Not many people are going to get that, but I don't care. Maybe I never sent you a link. I sent everyone a link. There's even a link in the main place in the sports talk. Who did I not send a link to? I thought I sent a link to everybody. Maybe I did not. If I did not send you a link, I am I'm sorry. Arc 54. I did not send you a link. I am not a car. No, but I did not say you were a car. I just said, did you get people would not get that reference. I said Arc 54, where are you? I didn't say car 54. Pay attention. Too much. No, you're cut off from the eggnog. No more eggnog for you. No, you've had enough. So I thought I sent everyone a link. Links. Interesting. Sorry, I did not send you a link. Gosh, where did I? I thought I did. Who needed a link? I did. Sent a link to. Yes. I did not. I must have been. I know I sent a link to people that have asked for one. I did not. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm getting off schedule here. Anyway, I don't know what next. I never know week to week of what shows I review. I don't decide until later on. So I have no clue what's going on for New Year's Eve. What I'm going to be reviewing. I don't know how a link could get buried. It should be anyway. It doesn't matter. It's there somewhere. I know it is. But maybe next week we'll do better. We'll get better at this Arc 54. Maybe next week. Maybe I won't send I think I sent the link yesterday, Friday or yesterday. What's today? Sunday. I think I said it. I didn't send it early in the week. Week. I sent it Friday or yesterday. I sent them out so people. I sent them yesterday so they wouldn't get buried with other links for like the Saturday morning show. So, you know. Anyway, maybe I'm sorry. Once again, I'm sorry you did not get the link if I did not send it. Well, I'm glad that you're that popular, Arc 54, that you get a shit ton of messages. So, do you want me to send them out before the show then? Would that be better for you if I just send them out not so soon and just send them out before the show? Is that what you? I can do that from now on. I'll send them the day of. Would that be a lot better? That way they won't get buried in your by your stalkers. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll send them the day of. And that way you can earmark it for your perusal. I think that'll work. So anyway, anything else on this movie that I wanted to bring up? No, not really. I think we've covered them all. I think it's been a fun flick. It was fun. So anyway, what time is it? Doesn't matter. It's Christmas Eve. Everyone's got stuff to do. I still got things to do for Christmas Eve, but I wanted to get this done with. Sorry that I missed out on not having Arc 54 with me except in the chat room. So thank you for being there. You have a good Christmas there, Arc 54. And so I shall see if I can figure out what's going to be for next week. I mean, I guess Christmas is over. So one more movie for this year to go over, to rewatch and talk about. So I'll figure that one out probably Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday. I'll know. So I don't know. All right, everybody. Have a good Christmas and have a safe week. Talk at you later.